Jersey. Now we have a housewife in the room. Danielle's here from Jersey. Hello.
Okay, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got dressed up again, I see.
That's what I do. Look, so one thing that always that I'm curious about with like when I look at your career, right? Like you went from like reality TV star, which is a lot of. I've interviewed you before, a lot of cool stuff, and that whole story of how that went down. But then you went also to business, social media. You've had all these different transitions. From your perspective, in all these different transitions, what are some things you've learned of being ready to pivot, looking to pivot, and how you decide when it's time to and when it's time to stay?
I've never done any of that. It comes from inside. I feel like so many people have so much anxiety about what they're not doing and what they should be doing and the idea. And one of the housewives actually once said to me, I'm looking for, I think she said like white space, meaning like where there's an opening. And I understand that in business, meaning you're always looking for where the fish are. But to be like saying, when am I going to pivot? I've never made any of these decisions. I actually had kind of semi-retired a couple of years ago when this whole accidental influencer era happened for me. And I realized after that it was just because I'd been authentically myself, and the media met me where I'm at, meaning I was always sort of the type of person who wanted like a direct-to-consumer experience. I don't like a lot of people around me and being handled in a big like bunch of suits in a conference room. So I always wanted to just be able to be myself. But the medium was to have to be produced and edited and do a week of talk show circuits, and I always felt shackled. I found this era by just always being myself, and then the universe met me where I'm at. So everything from even the everything from even the skinny girl idea, that wasn't like I'm gonna have an idea.
Yeah.
And even the Bethenny clause, where I basically took out the piece of the contract from the housewife saying that you can't take any of my business, but I'll take this very paltry $7,000 salary. It wasn't because someone told me or I had some great wisdom. It was just something inside, like this doesn't feel right, or this does feel good, or I'm gonna go over there. And I always just go where it feels good to me. I don't do things I don't want to do. It can be challenging. Like I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. It doesn't feel right. It happened yesterday. I was working with a brand, and I don't know what the terms were, but what post it had to be. But I guess there was something that hadn't been said in a video that I just did naturally. They saw a video, they wanted to license it, and so they wanted then to put some information in about this product. So someone from my team was like, hey, can you just say this thing? And it was fine. The thing was true. It was about ingredients. I was like, fine. But then someone on my team awkwardly put it in the video, and it was just me flowing, and then I saw this weird canned thing in the middle, and I cringed. I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't care about it. I would rather take no money. I'd rather pay them than to do something inauthentic. It's just I'm allergic. If it comes from within your body, you'll be clear and honest and be able to find where to take the boat versus just doing it the opposite way for me. That if you're like that.
So what you're talking about is you listen to a lot of gut instincts inside of it. You listen to a lot of your gut instincts. You're listening to your internal self versus looking at let's say the market or what's going. If you're going to change this white space, you reference that. Has there ever been a time where in your career you were listening to your gut and then you're like, oh shit, that was the wrong one? Never happened to you before?
No, because, two things. One, it doesn't mean once I have an instinct about something that I want to do, then I will look at the marketplace, look at the landscape. Meaning, I didn't do that for SkinnyGirl. I didn't know anything about the liquor industry and did not have any idea that I'd walk into these stores that had aisles and aisles. I probably would have never done it if I realized how competitive it was. Sometimes ignorance is bliss because your passion will drive you. Also, if you have nothing to lose. But now I'll think about something. Let's say it's a category of food that I might want to get into or something I'm interested in. I'll look at what's going on just so I have an education in it. Or I'll hear that a bunch of people around me never heard of this thing. And I'm like, that's good. No one's heard of it. That means I know about it and let's go. But no, because if your gut tells you to do something and then you do it and like it could be a post. You post something that like you shouldn't have done. Like that could happen. Not everything needs to be said. But you might learn something through that experience. I've been through terrible experiences for things that I've done, but you just then learn how to navigate the car. You need that experience of knowing how to not hold the steering wheel too tight, but also not fully let it go. Like the shit needs to hit the fan for you to know how to deal with the shit hitting the fan. And sometimes the shit hits the fan when the stakes aren't that high. It will feel like they are, but that experience will help you for later when the stakes really are high. So you have to kind of just like go with it. You gotta go with it. You can't, it's like getting caught in a riptide, God forbid, in the water. They tell you not to fight it. Like find the flow with it, look for the shore, swim, with, like parallel to it, but you can't fight it. So sometimes you need that grit from that experience.
Tell me about, I think one of the coolest deals you ever did, and maybe this has something to do with your gut, but instincts that you have, but the skinny margarita, because when you sold that off, again, I don't know if it was last minute, but you changed it where you kept a lot of everything from coffee to snacks. And
well, I kept all of it, whatever I wanted to do.
Just what made you do that, and what, more importantly, what lessons you learned from taking a brand like that, massively public, and then holding back to some of it?
Well, even breaking it down more to more basic terms, I didn't know much. Like, meaning I've always been a person to the instinct point. Like, you have to go with your gut. So I remember when, and my partner from SkinnyGirl is here, David, and I remember when we were approached, he said we were approached for the brand to be bought, and I asked my friend, I'm a crowdsourcer. I don't crowdsource the decision, but I crowdsource all the information. It's like, well, how do you like to make your lasagna? How do you like to use a bechamel? You like to use pork? You get to crowdsource, and then you decide what you're going to do when you're making the recipe. So I remember asking my friend, this guy who's like a billionaire, being like, what about this? He goes, who owns the mark? Meaning of SkinnyGirl. And I'm like, I don't know. Like I literally didn't know. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what licensing and equity was before I did this deal too. I asked my lawyer/veterinarian, who was like $200 an hour, what is the difference between those two things? And he told me what the difference was. And I was like, okay, I understand that. I want that menu on the item. That item on the menu. So when this guy said who owns the mark, David, who was my partner, he and I owned the logo together because we created that together, but I owned the word SkinnyGirl, so I knew that. So then, and I wanted to be able to use this IP in other categories. So that was part of the decision of making the deal. Sometimes you don't make a deal for money, you make it for freedom, you make it for other reasons. In show contracts, I've taken a deal when I feel like I don't have a ton of leverage, but put in there like, wait, but I gotta be allowed to do these other things. And often you're thinking of that thing, but the person you're negotiating with isn't thinking of that thing. It just happened last week. Like, you could have something you want and you hold that back. They don't even want that. They might only want it if they know you want it, so you hold it back, and then you bring it up. So the SkinnyGirl thing was just logical to me. I'm like, okay, David, my partner, tells me who the partners are, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing a deal with them. They wanted me to stay in. David isn't the face of the brand, so he exited. They wanted me to still promote it. So I'm like, okay, you guys are in the liquor business, so I don't know why you would get all 10 slices of the pizza. It doesn't make any sense. You can't use the other 9. So it was like, this never happened in history before. We can't buy this brand for all this money, and you still own the intellectual property. I'm like, well, then I'm not doing it, because you don't need it. I'm not giving you all these things. Grey Goose sold for $2 billion. They didn't sell lip gloss. Why? They're making vodka lip gloss, although it's a good idea. So I kept the other 9 slices, and as it turns out now, we're talking to someone that wants some of the slices of the pizza, and I literally brought up the other day when an agent was like, don't bring that up, the slice and dice, and I asked the person that might want to buy it, I was like, do you work in these other pieces of pizza? And they're like, no, and I'm like, okay, that'll be part of it. Like, I want to keep selling off pieces of the pizza and keep a couple of slices for myself. Maybe I'll get hungry, maybe I have the munchies. So it was just something in my gut about like logic. A liquor guy is buying this, but wait, I thought I wanted to do jeans and these other things, but wait, this guy doesn't do jeans, so why am I going to sell him something he's never going to use? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. But I just think most people don't think about the brand side of it. They just think you can get distracted with the mesmerization of how big of an exit that was, how big of a deal that was, especially for where you're at in your career. You're doing that first deal that's like that, but there's a unique piece there where you took it back and said, you don't gotta do skinny girl jeans, so why would you want to buy this? I think most people would miss that.
Because you have to be playing chess and checkers at the same time. Like checkers is like, oh my god, yay, I get to make this move, I can make this money. If we ever got sued, I couldn't afford it. If anything happened, I had no money, we had not taken a dime. So, I knew that I had to get a pile. I should, to be responsible, and also I thought it would give, but the street cred was part of the decision too. Like the thing is that the shiny object is not really always the decision. I'm always it's like the chess is like, the shiny object is yes, this money and pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. Maybe we can make more elsewhere. It was so early in the thing, and it was so early in the experience for us. We were surprised too. It was too early for us to make this decision, but when it shows up, if you like the guy you're dating, like you don't bigger, better deal it, you know what I mean? You may want to lock it down if they're that great. Fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. So I was in no position financially with no money to be turning it down. But like, what is the bigger picture? The street cred, what else could I do? Like, let's just get one on the board and keep going. So it just depends, but my brain works that way. I've now surrounded myself with people whose brains work differently. They work differently in why we're doing something and why we're not. So it's crowdsourcing. They might bring up some reason not to do a deal because they've done research or financially, and then I have that information. But I think of it in a very specific way.
Go back to when you were first starting, and maybe you were trying to get on. If you can, tell us the story behind it, if you can. When you were originally getting on the Real Housewives of New York, right? That was way before all the SkinnyGirl and the Exit and all that stuff. And you were doing, I think you said for like $7,000 contract with the Real Housewives.
$7,250 for the first season.
For the first season, not per episode.
No, season.
Yeah, for the first season. But my point was like for the outside, right? When people watch it, when you think of Real Housewives of New York, you would think these like hyper wealthy, massive, giant business moguls. But when you were in that's not where you were at that time. What gave you I use the word audacity, be like, fuck it, I don't give it. I'm gonna go do this show, and I'm not at that level where people kind of thought. What gave you that grit or ability to be like, no, I'm gonna go do this show. I don't care that I'm not multi-billionaire like some of other people think I am, or other people on the show think they are.
Well, first of all, that one person had at least there was a lot of smoke and mirrors. The whole entire house was the House of Cards.
Wait, was it true?
What? No, not everyone.
Oh my God!
Not everybody had
my
all
whole
the
life
money.
is turned upside down.
It's a surprise to no one. Not everybody had all the money they thought, but even with that, even with mortgages and debt, I still was way more broke than any of them, and I had a.
Were you the most brokest? If that's right.
I had $8,000 to my name.
How much?
$8,000 walking into it.
Walking into the show, Real Housewives of New York City.
What the hell? Yes, I had $8,000, but still was discerning and thinking maybe I shouldn't do it because I'd been on The Apprentice, and I thought to myself, like now, back then it wasn't. They wouldn't have actresses on. It wasn't like something that people of note would do back then. It was a nothing, and most reality shows were like a different version of a shit show train wreck. Like you weren't going to be a real person if you were there. But I said to myself, I want to be a natural food chef, and if it does, I turned it down for a month, and then I thought to myself, they kept calling me, and I thought to myself, if it doesn't do well, no one will hear about it.
Yeah.
So if it does well, then okay, and it's not that easy to get on television. So I kept thinking about it, and I did it, but I also was, in my mind, it's kind of like manifesting, but it's not like, doing a mantra and saying the thing that's gonna happen. It's like a thing that you think about. My ideas are between when I'm sleeping and I'm waking up. And it's sort of like a vision. It's like, I'm gonna be on this show, and I'm different than these other women because I knew that they had found the four, and the production company was willing to do the show with only four, and Bravo said they would not make the show with only the four women, and all the four women were wealthy and married to rich people and buying diamonds and furs, and they wanted to find another person like that. They weren't they just kept finding the same people, and they didn't think it was interesting. So when they met me, I think it was presented in front of them, something they weren't looking for, but I think I realized, like, they're gonna see this as the question mark character. They're gonna see this as the one, the Carrie Bradshaw who doesn't know what's gonna happen with her life. And I was being honest about being broke, and I just was honest, which was not what everyone was doing. Everyone was sort of showing off.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I'm gonna end up getting a spin-off out of this. I just had a weird vision about it once I got on the road. So it was a big picture. Everything has to be big picture. Like I said, you're playing checkers, you're going there every day and talking about things that don't matter. But the big picture, you're aware of it. It's just in the periphery.
What would you, if we gave some advice to maybe a young, I'm gonna get specific, a young, say, girl entrepreneur that's trying to get started in business, and maybe they're young, this is their first time to go into business. What would some advice you would give someone that, from a female's perspective, that is entering that business world, entrepreneurship world? What would you tell them?
I'm going to say this now. This is serious. I did not come from the era. I'm sorry, I'll get canceled. Let's go. I did not grow up or come up in the work-life balance era. Now, I want everyone to have a good life and a positive experience, but my brain, my mind, my body does not work from 9 to 5. So everybody around me has to keep their phones turned off and there's gonna be texts and voice messages coming through, and I literally sent an email in the middle of the night because I woke up at 3 in the morning thinking about something. So everybody has to, I don't create your work-life balance. You create your work-life balance. But if you come in to get a job and on the first day you're asking me about what time the lunch break is, fuck off. Because you have to say, I'm gonna go take my lunch now, or you have to get your lunch. I just didn't come from that. And Jeffrey Katzenberg said, if you don't come in on Saturday, don't bother coming in on Sunday. So it doesn't mean that my team works on Saturday. They don't. But if something goes sideways, you work on Saturday. It doesn't happen. It's an insurance policy. But if you come in worrying, someone came in and was worried about this activity they had at 5 o'clock every day after work. I'm like, that is a touching story. I don't know what to say. That this is not necessarily the right place. Now I know, the people from my team are like, oh my God, HR, it's not, I don't know exactly. I know that I have people in place for that to make sure that everybody's not working more than they should, or hours and things like that, but that is not, I don't think that way because I don't work that way. I never worked that way. When I worked for Linda and Jerry Bruckheimer, or Kathy Hilton, or Lorne Michaels, or Chris Blackwell, who created Island Records, I did not think about that. I was excited to be in the seat because I delivered scripts and copied and brought coffee like it was my fucking life's work. I am a worker. I am a worker. I would bring that coffee. It had to be blazing hot. I would sit in that seat, the movie seat, until Jerry Bruckheimer's ass sat down in the seat with the tickets and the popcorn. I was excited to be breathing the air of a legend in all of these spaces. I was wrapping gifts in Kathy Hilton's store. I was driving Paris and Nikki in a Ford Probe to and from ice skating. I was excited to be there. Made $8 an hour at La Scala, chopping salads, meeting everybody in Hollywood. So I don't know what the rules are and exactly how to frame them, but if you work your fucking ass off, and Kim Kardashian was in fact right, not that, yes, she's privileged and she started on third base, congrats. But many people do not work like that. Work your ass off old school. It doesn't matter. There's not a trick. There's not a trick. There really isn't. Yes, the frosting. Am I on social media? Yes, but I work my ass off. And I love it. I don't think about it as work. It's just you're passionate. Work, that's it. So do it or don't. We do or we don't. That's it. We go or we stay home.
As I listen to you, let's go a step further. Because you use the terminology of the old school way, with the time work-life balance thing. How do you, because you have that drive, that passion, that energy to go out there, how do you...
And everybody that I've ever had who's a billionaire on my podcast is like that. They don't think about the money, they're not counting. They are addicted to the idea, the execution, the dream. That's what it is. The money is a scorecard. It's just our big swinging dicks comparing that. It's not real. Sorry.
How do you take that?
It's his subtle nature. He's just it's like a husband that you're about to have a fight with and he's not giving it to you. He's just being like this. He's just like this. He's like, why aren't you fucking talking about? He's just like this. He's like, hey, how did you do this? And I'm like, ah! Right? You have a chill vibe for crazy people. well. It's good.
Let's talk about the big swinging dick energy.
Okay. BSTE.
So my question to you is, right? You have that obviously, the passion, the drive, the energy, that unrelentless entrepreneurial spirit, right? How do you make sure that your children also get that? And then what level do you want them to have that? How do you make sure that gets passed down to them?
I don't know that I want this passed down to my perfect, sweet little pure girl that everyone says should model. And I'm like, why? So we can have like an eating disorder and be obsessed and she should be trolled. Like, she's gorgeous, she's lucky, she's the Nepo baby, she gets to do things. But like, I'm doing a good job with her because I'm on the case. Like, I don't play games. Like, it's not like your closet, you clean it out once a year and then next year when it's like so out of control, you do it again. Like, I'm on the case every day, every minute, and it's hard. And people who have many kids, I give them so much, like, shout out, credit, all of it. So I think her way isn't my way, her dream isn't my dream, and many roads lead to Rome. No one could ever have predicted the means to this success. You cannot read this in a book. It doesn't even make any sense. So it's like, there are so many roads, which your road should be true to you, and you have to trust the process, and the journey is so much more interesting than the destination. The destination is the scorecard, but all the people who are, have ideas and make them happen are like about like their eyes wide open and they're in the journey. So I am like, I'm help her nurture her journey, the things she loves to do. I definitely positive reinforcement about everything that she's doing. Not everything. If she's like a mind actor, because something it wasn't the best. Like, they're not wrapped in bubble wrap. Everyone doesn't get a prize. Like, I don't want her to hurt, but I also don't want her to be like living this absolutely perfect life. It's like, you have to be emotionally intelligent. You have to have some grit. And, she's not going to be like me because because we're going to the University of Miami game and sitting in the president's box. Like, I was 38 years old and couldn't afford a taxi downtown, or 36 years old, couldn't afford a taxi downtown. Literally. You can't recreate that for her. I'm not gonna make her starve just to feel it. It's just not gonna happen. She's a different human being than I am.
I love it because they try to say the opposite, and I agree with you. Like, why would I do all this shit and then want my daughter to also have to do all this shit while saying I'm doing this for my family? Like, that doesn't make any freaking sense.
And you're not only doing it for your family.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot. Yes.
Everyone says that I'm doing this. It's just like, I'm not here only for my kid. I'm here for me. I'm here for you. I'm here for us. I'm present. I'm not on my phone. I'm not with her. This is as important as being a parent, because a lot of people at a certain age are lacking purpose, and they're like wandering zombies. And you need purpose. And even me, who's so busy, sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? Like, walking around in fuzzy slippers, eating chicken salad like a fucking weirdo. Purpose. So yes, you're doing it for them, but like their journey is not the same as yours. It's all like passed down. I don't know if you're insane, but I'm insane because of how insane my parents were. Hopefully it's a little less. Yeah. Hopefully she'll be a little less insane than I am. Like, I'm just, it's a quilt and each person puts a little part in it. Each little square is different.
Talk to me about one thing that, look, this part tour week, I've interviewed freaking, 100 people now. And one thing that I absolutely love about you when we get together and interview is a lot of people say the word authentic because it's like a buzzword. It's like you gotta be authentic.
Like the word brand. It's really
It's a very like just sexy word on Instagram right now. Very few people that I interview, hang out with, are truly what I would call like authentic. Anytime I'm with you, it's the same. Anytime, any interview, any backstage, you're always the same. On the phone, it doesn't matter. You're the same. How did you become so, or how did you lead with so much authenticity in a world filled with the exact opposite of that? Saying that this is authentic. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
People say this is authentic, and you're the opposite of it, but they're saying this is authentic, and you're the opposite, but you are authentic.
It's very hard because I think people think they're being authentic. They genuinely do.
They do believe it.
But it's like this construct that's come from the outside. It's like this image that people present to other people. It's sort of like a shield you hide behind. People be like, I'm, emotionally unavailable. Like these words that people just like hide behind, they no longer know what the original meaning is. And maybe you're not emotionally available, but you've been saying it so long that you are. So maybe you've been saying you're authentic so much and like presenting is that you're not actually. I think that it comes from growing up around a bunch of animals at the racetrack. I can't know, but like I did not have a very normal childhood, and I always had to be the new kid. I went to 13 schools. I was an adult before I was a child. So I just think when you're raised by wolves, you kind of just see so many different shapes and sizes of people. It's like a grid,
Yeah.
So you're just like an animal.
Yeah.
Just like half an animal. So you just, you're just like a little primal.
Yeah, half animals here. So, one of the things I look at from your authentic side, right, is you went from the outside, okay? And this might not have been how it was in the inside, but from the outside. I think a lot of people looked at you and others from reality TV and thought, oh man, we saw you on TV. That's the only way we even knew you. We saw you on TV. We saw this thing for years, right? I don't know how many seasons. This is a long time. How many seasons total were you on?
I was on 3, left 3, came out for 5, I think, which is crazy.
Like eight total.
Yeah.
That's how we all got to know you, right? That's how we met you, right? And then there's this like shift where it's like now Bethenny, which we look at on this TV, is now on TikTok over here. And I look at that as purely authentic. Like you didn't give a shit. I don't give a shit. This is just a new screen. How was it for you switching from reality TV to TikTok? Did you care or did it matter? Or?
I didn't know I was switching. I was just playing around. I was, like I said, just at my house, and the camera was up here. The lighting was wrong. Like I didn't know anything. I didn't even know how to do it really. So it was just a weird, refreshing, probably surprise to people. Like, what does she do? What is this weirdo doing? And that's what I think. Years ago, I was in LA and I went out to try to be an actress, and I hated it because I didn't like being confined. And I was like, I wish I could just get to be myself. But then I thought it would be hosting, and hosting isn't being yourself either. It's reading off a prompter, and that's so shackling too. So reality TV, in the moment, in the experience, it is still being you. Like when faced with these people talking about this stuff, heightened with cameras and alcohol and stress and dehydration, that is actually you, because an animal caged is still an animal being itself. It's just in a different environment. So now you're just seeing me like in my house in pajamas or doing whatever I want without the confines of that conflict that I don't care about, or the people that I'm not actually friendly with or didn't know before that. So they're all real, and it's not that it's all editing or anything like that. It's just you're putting together people in a social experiment. They're going to act different. If you lock 8 people in an elevator, they're going to act differently than they do at a yoga retreat.
Did anybody ever say anything to you like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing these TikToks at the very, very beginning? Anybody say anything to you?
No, I don't.
Do you get any comments or DMs?
I was in a relationship with someone, and I was making a joke to people I was working with. I was like, I think I'm an influencer, and he was like, that's funny. Like you're a very well-known woman, and you're whatever. And I was like, okay, no, I think I'm doing some weird thing over here. So he kind of like laughed me off, like didn't take it seriously. I don't think I took it seriously either, though. It wasn't serious. It was just clicking, so it was weird. There's a movie, Small Time Crooks. It's a Woody Allen movie, and there's a show called The Producers. It was a play where they were creating this Broadway show to lose money. It was supposed to be like a front, and Small Time Crooks was too, where it's this thing that's like not supposed to do well. They were just making cookies, like just doing it to fuck around, and like it was not supposed to do well. And then it became wildly successful. So did The Producers. It was so ridiculous, it became a blockbuster hit. I think of it like that. Like if there were no stakes, it's still no stakes. I don't have to do any of this. It's not like a contracted job.
Yeah.
So it's fun, it's free. No, I don't have to do it. No, I don't want it. What's gonna happen if the video yesterday that's that brand, okay, I want to take that piece out. We want to do it, we don't have to do it. No. Then they come back, yes. I'm like, okay. It's like pretty low stakes.
If you can tell us whatever you're allowed to tell without disclosure, where will we see Bethenny at next, or any big moves you have coming up, or businesses that you can share this time?
Well, I think we might do a deal for this pizza we talked about before. before. Not literally pizza, the SkinnyGirl pie, maybe, and if not, maybe exploit SkinnyGirl more.
It's such a good brand.
It's such a good brand.
Yeah.
The logo maintains. I mean, it's 15 years. How insane! Most brands don't last a couple of years, so it's 15 years, and it does extraordinarily well, extraordinarily well. And it's the same thing as what I was saying earlier. Things come into my door now because of this way that I touch so many different categories, so I get to find businesses that I love, and be like, wait a second, I just tried that. I want to invest in that. It's like I have an on the road Shark Tank, effectively, because things come to me all the time that I would never have seen. I'm like, I love it. How do I invest in that? So that's why it's full circle. Because David, who's on my team now, who was my SkinnyGirl partner, we haven't worked together in 15 years, and now we're working together again because he's working on the deal flow. So it's amazing for him, and he understands the beast and the animal that is me, and we went through a sale, and we still work together and friends. So more of a venture capital, but more in a rogue way, not like we're going out and we're raising money and we're starting a VC private equity. It's douchey as the word brand.
Yeah.
It's just stuff comes in, I want to invest in it, let's do it. It's kind of in the wild, but it's doing very well. I mean, I've invested in a lot of businesses even before that have done extremely well just by gut instinct, just by liking the product or service.
Any chance any more reality TV coming up for you?
That is literally bedrock. That's Wilma and Fred Flintstone and I start the car with the bar above our feet. No one gets that it's so archaic.
Yeah.
So again, okay, I could do it in my pajamas in 3 minutes, 3 minutes, or I could let someone else tell me in a suit what I'm supposed to be doing, what does work, doesn't work, let them edit it, produce it 6 months to get the cameras up, 6 months to edit it, and make less money than I make in a week.
So let me say this back to you. Make sure.
And I make in a week. In a week. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
So even if someone offered you to their TV show or whatever, you see way more. You would turn that down.
I mean,
the power of what you
$5 to $10 million for a month or two work, I would do it.
Okay.
That's the number. Yeah, 5 is the minimum, and it still would be a very big probably. No, 10.
Fuck it, yeah, 10.
10. Because 5 means I have to have my mind out of the game.
And then taxes, and then
out of the game. Your mind has to be out in the game.
Sure.
Because when I was doing the show, I thought I was working, and my business manager was like, "You shouldn't leave. You're making millions of dollars." And I was like, "They're right." But until I left, if you're doing something that is crushing your soul, whatever it is, if you have any means whatsoever to not do that, the bandwidth is the emotional and mental bandwidth. Meaning, I was making a lot of money doing the show. I was paid enormously, but it was toxic for me. Am I trashing them? I'm saying the bandwidth was all encompassing for not just the months that you were shooting, after the way you're thinking about it, how much is it taking of your energy? So when I left, when you jump, you fly. Then your mind, your creativity, the flow, you can focus on other things. So if something is crushing your soul, which is why I left HSN, no disrespect to them, I didn't like doing it. So if you have the means and you don't feel it in your body, it doesn't feel right, you can't do it. Because you can fly with other things.
Lastly here, last question I'll give you. I'm going to turn it over to you. We got almost 2,200, 2,300 people here, all of them from Jersey and maybe some from New York. But what would be your final piece of advice, wisdom, words that you would give the people here today?
Give yourself the air and the rest and the peace for the good ideas to come. And don't, if they come, it's like that, there are things when the guy comes and there's a fable or something where I asked you for this and you didn't take it. God says, I'll give you the boat or I'll give you the whatever. You know that thing?
Yeah, no.
It's don't look the gift ideas. Really, and don't get stuck in the plan. Don't be thinking, if you're one of those people, my best friend takes 4 years to design a bathroom. I'm we gotta go. She will pack for 3 weeks. Just do it. Nike said it best. No one's ever gonna do it better than Nike. Just do it. You can be thinking about it, but you're gonna have to build the plane while you're flying it in some way. If you get stuck in the idea, you'll be constipated and you won't be able to get on the road. Someone else is thinking of it, someone else is doing it. Let's fucking go. Go.
I love it. You guys give Bethenny Frankel a round of applause. Bethenny Frankel. Let's fucking go. I think we ended with.
Keep it going for Bethenny